In another development yesterday, even though that the MPC meeting, took so much attention yesterday, the National Bureau of Statistics released the labor force report, and it showed that Nigeria's unemployment rate increased to 5.3% in the Q1 of this year from 5% in the last quarter of 2023, with females recording a higher unemployment rate at 6.2% compared to males at 4.3%. In urban areas, the unemployment rate remained unchanged at 6%, while rural unemployment stood at 4.3%. Among youths aged 15 to 24, the unemployment rate decreased to 8.4% in the first quarter of this year from 8.6% in Q3 of 2023. Now, Nigeria's labor force participation rate dropped to 77.3% in the first quarter of this year, down from 79.5% recorded in the third quarter of last year. Now, let's bring you a breakdown of those figures. Of course, you're seeing those figures right now on the screen. That's a summary of the labor force statistics for the first quarter of this year according to the NBS. Like I mentioned earlier, the unemployment rate according to NBS rose to 5.3%. One will begin to wonder, why is it 5.3%? Because the previous rate was around 33%. But the NBS said that there is a new methodology right now that they use to collate and calculate unemployment rates, which a lot of people are against. Because as it is right now, it's analysts are saying, I've spoken to a lot of economists, professors of economics, and they'll be like, okay, Nancy, this unemployment rate of 5% is almost near full employment, and it will make these politicians go to sleep that there is no problem. We have, we don't have unemployment in Nigeria. But let's quickly take you through the numbers you're seeing on the screen. Employment to population ratio at about 73.2%. Male unemployment rate at 4.3%, female unemployment rate at 6.2%. That means that women, girls, or ladies are more unemployed than that. Women do not have jobs. Girls do not have jobs. Or any lady that wants to have a job, a male person, that's a male will get a job before the female. So unemployment rate for females at 6.2%. Urban unemployment to population ratio at about 69.5%. Rural unemployment to population at 78.9%. And that is actually quite troubling. Okay, that's rural unemployment. Yes, to population ratio, that's actually quite troubling because, so what are people doing in the rural areas now? Anyway, according to the NBS, 84.1 million Nigerians are employed. 77 of these people, some 7.6 million of these people are in the informal sector as of 2023. So big ups to the informal sector in Nigeria. All those small businesses, you need to pat yourselves at the back. For those of you that employ 1, 2, 3 people, you guys are the OGs of this country, because without you, these numbers would have even been worse off. Unemployment among persons with post-secondary education is 9%. 8.4% unemployment rate among youth aged 15 to 24 years. Urban unemployment stands at 6%, and wage workers, according to the NBS, rose to 16%. 20.1% are male workers in the wage employment, while 12.1% are females in wage employment. So the numbers we are seeing are just discriminating even against women. Wage employment is higher in urban areas at 21.8%, while rural areas wage employment at 8.1%. Now, let's also move to the next slide, which would show us states with highest unemployment rates in Nigeria. And for me, when I saw that, it was also quite telling. And I will come to that in a bit. Number one state with the highest unemployment rates as of 2023, 18.7%. People will say, okay, 2023 was an election year. Many of the states, about 24, 26 states, had elections in 2023 that brought in new governors. But they had from let's give them grace from June to December of 2023. But we're seeing Abia State at 18.7%, FCT at 14.1%. So Governor Wike needs to take note of that. Rivers State, from where he's coming from, 13.4%, Gombe 11.2%, Imo 10.9%, Ogun State 8.8%, Delta 8% to Kano 7.6%, Plateau 7.4%, Borno State 7.3%. Now, when I saw these numbers yesterday, what also came to my mind is that I can't really I wanted to correlate these unemployment figures with the poverty numbers. And if you're taking a look at poverty numbers, you see more northern states on that's top 10, or let me say within the top 20. But states with highest unemployment rates as of 2023, you would say at least this top 10 are more of the southern states. So I seem not to be able to correlate that, because there's a correlation between unemployment and poverty. Because if someone is employed, at least they have a higher propensity of not, or of living above poverty, as it were. Or what does that also say? That the kind of jobs we have in Nigeria do not lift people out of poverty. But I'm going to interrogate those numbers more, of course, as you continue to watch the show. But I just wanted to say that. So many questions than answers as a result of these numbers. But I would actually also say that these numbers are pointers to the fact that Nigeria's economy is in a dire situation. Unemployment, poverty rates, the general macro economic situation needs help at this point in time. Of course, the Nigerian economy witnessing so many shocks at this time, and the MPC yesterday did raise interest rates by 50 basis points, increasing it to about 8.5% since this administration of Yemi Cardoso took over at the Central Bank of Nigeria, which, of course, Yemi Cardoso and his team are 1 year right now on the job. But like he told me yesterday, when I asked the question around his assessment of his 1 year in office, he did tell me, okay, they were coming from a very bad state, and 1 year is not really enough. That it was nice that I pointed out that it's 1 year, but there are still more years for a lot to be done. But